In this video, we are going to be discussing the team of people behind To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, the company created by Tom DeLonge regarding the UFO phenomena and disclosure. To the Stars is a company that is devoted to three main aspects of the UFO phenomena. The first being a science division devoted to researching and better understanding what is behind the phenomena. The second, an aerospace division devoted to developing new technologies in propulsion, energy, and communication. The third, an entertainment division devoted to creating media that discloses information regarding the UFO phenomena to the public, through film, television, and art. When Tom DeLonge announced that he was going to be leaving Blink-182 and music in general to pursue UFOs and create this company, many people believed he had gone crazy.
What's going on Blink-182, man? I heard something about Tom, about aliens.
Tom's my good friend. He is pursuing his journey in finding UFOs and aliens.
His appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast in October of 2017 didn't help either, in which he made many loose and cryptic claims regarding the phenomena, his contacts within the government, and access to official Department of Defense videos depicting the phenomena.
And why do you call them threats?
We'll get into that, I guess.
Okay. So the people you're surrounded by are telling you this? Is that what it is?
Well, I don't want to get into that, but the people I'm not going to really get into that here. That is what we're doing at my company, though.
Explain to you that this exists. And that this is in the hands of the U.S. government?
I think no. I don't want to get into that kind of stuff, but
Joe and many others were justly skeptical of Tom and his claims. Though he and his claims seem crazy, when you look at the group of people from within the government and academia that he has cultivated and who are willing to be publicly associated with this company and its disclosure mission, you are forced to consider the credibility of Tom and what he is saying. These people aren't random UFO nuts that live in the middle of nowhere claiming to have seen lights in the sky. They come from some of the most prestigious institutions in the world and have some of the most impressive resumes of any officials to come forward and publicly say that UFOs are real. Tom DeLonge's credibility was aided even more in December of 2017 with the release of a New York Times article that revealed the existence of a Pentagon UFO investigation program.
Tonight, CNN has learned the Pentagon had a secretive program to research UFOs like the one Fravor spotted. The project was called the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, run by an official named Luis Elizondo.
I think this is a national security imperative. We have clear things that we do not understand how they work, operating in areas that we can't control.
The man who ran that program, Luis Elizondo, retired in protest over the government's handling of UFOs and went directly to join the team at To the Stars. The article also released official military recordings of 2 UFO encounters with fighter jets that were initially obtained by To the Stars Academy. This information seemingly validated the absurd claims Tom DeLonge had made on the Joe Rogan podcast a few months earlier. So, who is the team of people behind To the Stars Academy? Where do they come from? What are their credentials? Let's find out and take a closer look at the team behind To the Stars. First, let's begin with Dr. Adele Gilpin, who is listed as a biomedical researcher and attorney on the company's website. Dr. Adele Gilpin is a scientist with biomedical, academic, and research experience, as well as an active licensed attorney. She served on the faculty at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, the University of Maryland School of Medicine, and the Medical College of Pennsylvania. She taught biostatistics, epidemiology, and the design and conduct of clinical trials. Dr. Gilpin led an international team of scientists and physicians in designing and implementing 2 multi-project programs that were together awarded $10 million by the National Institute of Health. Her regulatory law practice focuses on FDA-regulated products such as medical devices and pharmaceuticals, and on research law. She was awarded the E. Randolph William Award for Exceptional Pro Bono Service in both 2009 and 2011. She received her BA and MA degrees and her PhD from Temple University, and a JD from Georgetown University Law Center. Next, we will discuss Dr. Colm Kelleher, listed as a biotech consultant on the company's website. Dr. Colm Kelleher is a biochemist with a 28-year research career in cell and molecular biology, currently working in senior management in the aerospace sector. He served as laboratory director at biotech company Prosetta Corporation, leading several small molecule drug discovery programs focused on viruses of interest to the United States Department of Defense. He worked for 8 years as deputy director of the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS. NIDS was founded by billionaire Robert Bigelow, the biggest personal financer of UFO research in history, serving as a way to channel funds into the scientific study of paranormal phenomena.
Do you also believe that UFOs have come to Earth?
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. And I spent millions and millions. I probably spent more as an individual than anybody else in the United States has ever spent on this subject.
NIDS attempted to study anecdotal sightings of UFOs, Bigfoot-like creatures, crop circles, glowing orbs, and poltergeist activity. From 2008 to 2011, Colm Kelleher served as deputy administrator of a U.S. government-funded threat assessment program focused on advanced aerospace technology. Dr. Kelleher has authored more than 40 peer-reviewed scientific articles in cell and molecular biology, immunology, and virology, as well as 2 best-selling books, Hunt for the Skinwalker and Brain Trust. He holds a PhD in biochemistry from the University of Dublin Trinity College. Next, we will discuss Dr. Norm Kahn, listed as a National Security and Program Management Consultant on the company's website. Dr. Norm Kahn is currently a consultant on national security for the U.S. government with a focus on preventing the use of biological weapons of mass destruction and disruption. Dr. Kahn had over a 30-year career with the Central Intelligence Agency, culminating in his development and direction of the intelligence community's counter-biological weapons program, a program he ran for 12 years from 2001 to 2013. Dr. Kahn is the recipient of the Central Intelligence Agency's Distinguished Career Intelligence Medal and the Director of National Intelligence's National Intelligence Distinguished Service Medal. Dr. Kahn holds a BS degree in biology from the City College of New York and a PhD in oceanography from the University of Rhode Island. Next, we will discuss Dr. Paul Rapp, who is listed as a brain function and consciousness consultant on the company's website. Dr. Paul Rapp is a professor of military and emergency medicine at the Uniformed Services University and director of the Traumatic Injury Research Program. He also holds a secondary appointment as a professor of medical and clinical psychology. He is a past editor of Physica, which is a Dutch series of peer-reviewed scientific journals on physics, and served on the editorial boards of the International Journal of Bipurification and Chaos, Chaos and Complexity Letters, and Cognitive Neurodynamics. His past honors include a Certificate of Commendation from the Central Intelligence Agency for significant contributions to the mission of the Office of Research and Development. Dr. Rapp attended the University of Illinois and earned degrees in physiology and engineering physics. He received a PhD from Cambridge University, working under the supervision of Professor Sir James Lighthill in the Department of Applied Mathematics and Theoretical Physics. All of the previous people were highly qualified individuals that lend to the credibility of To the Stars Academy. The following people add to that credibility even further and really make you wonder why this eclectic group of high-level individuals are involving themselves with this UFO disclosure company and with each other. Dr. Gary Nolan, listed as a genetics technologies consultant on the company's website. Dr. Gary Nolan is the Radford and Carlota A. Paris Professor in the Department of Microbiology and Immunology at Stanford University School of Medicine. He trained with Leonard Herzenberg for his PhD and Nobel recipient Dr. David Baltimore for his postdoctoral work. He has published more than 220 research articles and is the holder of 20 U.S. patents. He has been honored as one of the top 25 inventors in Stanford University's history and is the first recipient of the T Innovator Award in 2012 from the Department of Defense. Dr. Nolan was the founder and has served on the board of directors for several successful biotechnology companies. He has notable achievements in the UFO community as well, being the geneticist that analyzed the DNA of the famous Atta skeleton found in Chile, thought to be the remains of alien life. Dr. Nolan determined that the skeleton was not an alien, but a human with 64 previously unknown mutations. He holds a BS in genetics from Cornell University and a PhD in genetics from Stanford University. Next, we will discuss Chris Mellon, listed as a National Security Affairs Advisor on the company's website.
My name is Christopher Mellon. I'm the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense. in the Clinton and Bush administrations and the former Minority Staff Director of the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Christopher Mellon is a private equity investor, political commentator, and the chair of the Science Committee at the Carnegie Museum of Natural History. He served for 20 years in the federal government, holding various roles. He was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence from June 1998 to January of 2002. He held this position during the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, and during 9/11. In addition, he's worked for many years on Capitol Hill as the Minority Staff Director for Senator John D. Rockefeller IV of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. He was also an aide to Senator William S. Cohen, where he drafted the legislation that established the U.S. Special Operations Command. He is the author of numerous articles on politics and national security, and the recipient of multiple awards from the Department of Defense and agencies of the U.S. intelligence community. He holds a BA in Economics from Colby College and an MA in International Affairs from Yale University. Next, we will discuss Lou Elizondo, listed as a Director of Global Security and Special Programs on the company's website.
My name is Lou Elizondo. I'm a career intelligence officer with various organizations throughout the intelligence community. I've worked for the Department of Defense. I've worked with the Army. I've worked with the Director of National Intelligence, National Counterintelligence Executive.
Lou Elizondo is a career intelligence officer whose experience includes working with the U.S. Army under General Mattis in the Second Iraq War, the Department of Defense, the National Counterintelligence Executive, and the Director of National Intelligence. As a former special agent in charge, Lou conducted and supervised highly sensitive espionage and terrorism investigations around the world. As an intelligence case officer, he ran clandestine source operations through Latin America and the Middle East. Most recently, Lou managed the security for certain sensitive portfolios for the U.S. government as the director of the National Program Special Management Staff. For nearly the last decade, Lou also ran the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, a Pentagon program whose purpose was to investigate UFO reports filed by various military and government agencies. It was while running this program that he became aware of the reality of the UFO phenomena, maintaining an agnostic curiosity but confirming that these things flying in the sky and performing maneuvers that we are not capable of are real. The American public was made aware of the existence of this program because of a December 2017 New York Times article, and Lou was instrumental in declassifying the 2 Pentagon tapes showing UFOs that were released with the article. During this time, Lou gave several interviews on mainstream media regarding the UFO phenomena. Lou Elizondo retired from running this program in October of 2017 because he did not like the secrecy the government had regarding the UFO phenomena towards the public. When retiring, he penned a letter to Defense Secretary Jim Mattis complaining that a potential security threat was being ignored. Lou's academic background includes microbiology, immunology, and parasitology, with research experience in tropical diseases. Lou is also an inventor who holds several patents. Next, we will discuss Steve Justice, listed as the Aerospace Division Director on the company's website.
In 1984, I got my chance to go to the Skunk Works. I'm working on things that defy imagination.
Steve is the director of the To the Stars Academy Aerospace Division, tasked with leading the effort to examine the possibilities of emerging sciences and technologies. He entered the defense aerospace industry in 1978 after graduating from the Georgia Institute of Technology. For 31 years, Steve was the program director for advanced systems from Lockheed Martin Advanced Development Programs, often called Skunk Works. He left this post to join the disclosure mission of To the Stars. Lockheed Martin is one of the main weapons contractors for the U.S. government and U.S. military, having developed some of the best aircraft over the past few decades. It is responsible for a number of aircraft designs, including the U-2 bomber, famous for its use during the Cold War, the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, which holds the record for the fastest plane created by man, the Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk, and the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. These planes are some of the most advanced planes in aviation history and are used in the air forces of several countries. Experimental aircraft developed by Lockheed Martin were often tested and developed in the infamous Area 51 and Groom Lake sites. The fact that Steve, who ran this program, is part of this disclosure mission statement is a pretty big deal. Next, we will discuss Dr. Hal Puthoff, listed as the Vice President of Science and Technology on the company's website.
Hal Puthoff, I'm a physicist. I'm also director of the Institute for Advanced Studies at Austin, and basically we do forefront research on energy and propulsion for spaceflight.
Dr. Harold E. Pudoff is the co-founder and vice president of Science and Technology of To the Stars Academy. In 1967, Pudoff earned a PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford University. Since 1985, Dr. Pudoff has served as president and CEO of Earth Tech International, Inc., and director of the Institute for Advanced Studies at Austin. He has published numerous papers on electron beam devices, lasers, and space propulsion, and has patents issued in the laser, communication, and energy fields. Dr. Pudoff's professional background spans more than 5 decades of research at General Electric, Sperry, the National Security Agency, Stanford University, and the Stanford Research Institute. One of Hal's most interesting endeavors was when he ran the CIA remote viewing program, Project Stargate. This recently declassified program was officially ran by the CIA for over 20 years during the Cold War. Remote viewing is the practice of seeking impressions about a distant or unseen target purportedly using extrasensory perception, or sensing with the mind, and the CIA attempted to use this to spy on the USSR and other American enemies. This program has its skeptics, and I'm not sure of the validity of remote viewing, but Hal and the other researchers involved in the program stand by it. Our government funded it for over 20 years officially, and the Soviets ran their own remote viewing program. Dr. Pudoff regularly advises NASA, the Department of Defense and intelligence communities, corporations, and foundations on leading-edge technologies and future technology trends. He earned his PhD from Stanford University in 1967 and won a Who's Who Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017 that recognizes individuals that have achieved greatness in their industry and have excelled in their fields for at least 20 years. Lastly, we will be discussing Jim Semivan, listed as Vice President of Operations on the company's website.
My name is Jim Semivan. I'm a retired CIA officer. I worked as a spy for 25 years in the CIA's clandestine service. Had a wonderful career there, enjoyed it very, very much. Was lucky enough to be a member of the Senior Intelligence Service.
Jim Semivan is the co-founder and vice president of operations of To the Stars Academy. In 2007, Mr. Semivan founded the consulting firm Jim Sem LLC after his retirement as a senior intelligence service member of the Central Intelligence Agency. Since retirement, Mr. Semivan primarily worked as a consultant for the intelligence community on classified topics, including leadership training, CIA tradecraft training, and IC programs for countering weapons of mass destruction. Mr. Semivan retired from the Central Intelligence Agency's Directorate of Operations after 25 years as an operations officer, both overseas and domestically. Mr. Semivan holds a bachelor's degree from The Ohio State University and an MA from San Francisco State University. This is quite the eclectic group that pulls people from highly respected institutions and puts them alongside people from more fringe sciences. To recap some of the more notable achievements of these people, you have multiple officers from the Central Intelligence Agency, one of Stanford's best inventors, the man who ran billionaire Robert Bigelow's organization for investigating paranormal phenomena, the man who ran Lockheed Martin, the largest airplane development company for the US, the man who ran the US remote viewing program, the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, and the man who ran the Pentagon program, whose purpose was to investigate UFOs, all coming out together to say that the phenomena is real and needs to be seriously addressed by our government and society. At the very least, the fact that all these people are involving themselves with Tom DeLonge's company, and the fact that this company actually released official military footage of UFO encounters should raise curiosity. Is this some sort of government operation? Maybe. Are they in this for the money? Not likely, as many of these men were quite well off financially prior to this, and if anything, going public about UFOs would damage their reputations because of the stigma associated with the subject. Or maybe this is the real deal, and this is what the first stages of disclosure actually look like.